Hello, everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Patrick, and partner, Solon Palavicino. How's everyone doing today? Good morning, Jacob. Hey, Sterling. Nvidia just keeps marching higher, taking the little mini potential double off the table. I did not know there's Treasury Direct issues. I haven't logged on in a few days, mainly because it's pretty much automated for all my stuff going on with T-bills. Good morning, Patrick. Haven't had an issue getting money in or out, though. Good morning, Sterling. There it is. And we had the mortgage information out earlier today. Dollar still climbing. I put up the next harmonic targets because we got a nice little 2-day pause. What is this? Mortgage rates climbing up. I'm actually seeing mortgage rates higher than 6.36 again. I'm seeing them closer to 6.61 as of yesterday. But you know, anything coming from our government is delayed anyways. Just like Treasury Direct, I guess. What else? I saw this. Thank you, Patrick, for putting that in. Small business owners are feeling more uncertain than ever. Owners hesitant to invest. The NFIB chief economist. Good morning, Mark. Oh, her tough questions on Howard. So how about the massive editing job on 60 Minutes? From her word salad answers to clear and concise. I mean, this is just you got to release the unedited in it because the editing is absurd. You know what? This Good morning, McRidge. I completely agree. I completely agree, Sterling. COVID did Howard in. COVID did Howard in. Oh crap! I said COVID. So now I'll have issues on the channel again. Good morning, Ted. Where's It's $72, Ted. Well, now it's $82 as of today because inflation's still trucking. Inflation's still trucking. Good morning, Royal Palms. Hello, Charles. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Anissa. Did you see the Ninja Trader yesterday, Anissa? By the way, if anybody, I was on Ninja Trader yesterday. You'd still be able to watch the replay if you're at all interested. So, what else we got going on? Sterling already put in the mortgage applications. We got Logan speaking. See, this is absolutely absurd. Yeah, we will see, Sterling, I skipped over the comment, but we'll see in the FOMC minutes how many people actually initially disagreed with the 50 bips cut. That's going to be interesting. Very interesting. But then look at this. Logan, Bark, and Goolsby. Logan, Williams, Bark, and Jefferson. Collins, Daly. Come on. Come on. What a joke. What a clown show. We need those little clown icons, Sterling. I need a clown emoji like to pop up on the screen. Oh, thank you for watching, Anissa. Thank you. Hey, Richard. Thanks, McRangers. Thank you. Remember, the trend is still up, even the short term. So, the big thing tomorrow, we could see, back and forth, depends. I mean, Nvidia's driving the market right now. Again, you got CPI tomorrow. CPI tomorrow, so that's going to be the biggie. So far going in that, we have Nvidia almost up, it is up 100 basis points. AMD up over 100 basis points. Home Depot making all workers, even the white collar workers, work what is it, 1 day in the store per month. Also, Home Depot and Lowe's rallying because of all the supplies getting purchased for hurricane. It's going to hit. That's going to be a mess. But oil pulling back. So far in our groups, we got technology leading, followed by healthcare and energy pulling back with crude pullback. We still have nothing's really changed with the cuts. Cut. That's where we stand. So what we have only a 12% of a pause, so we got 2 cuts priced in. Fear and greed still at the upper end of greed, and PE almost over 37 again. Boy, price to perfection. Let's just get through some stuff because this This is not a double anymore. Do not have a little mini double top in the S&P. That does not mean this area where we've had a lot of buying pressure and see yesterday, buying rotation zone, rotation back up. Does not mean it's still not significant, but we cannot use those targets. So if we start breaking down tomorrow, we'll watch for some other targets. But it really, at this point, on any pullback, it's getting a little messy here. The major target area would be at this point, unless we go to new highs, would be right around 5610, 5600 to 5610 on a pullback if we do break this. Other than that, sideways correction. Now, what's going to be interesting, I talked about this on Ninja yesterday. So we had the sideways correction followed by the jobs report in September that caused then a pullback correction. Now, so far we have a sideways correction. We got CPI coming out. Is CPI going to do the same thing as last time with the last trigger from a sideways correction, or is it going to go up? Right now, this favors a breakout to the upside. This still favors a breakout to the upside, but again, I don't know what the CPI is going to print. This might be is still a dovish print, and then we might start seeing, is inflation coming out with stickier prints. Now the media is starting to question Powell's cut. It's going to be interesting. Everybody wants to feel important. Well, thank you, Andrea, and thank you for tuning in. So, what else do we have? Key resistance for me going into this is 804 to 805. If we do blast through there, if we have a bullish day, we're getting buying pressure now at a little higher level. If we do blast through this multi-top area from Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, my next key area is 58.17, 58.16, 17. What'll be interesting is watch if we do launch up today. Watch in relation to where we close based off the 30th of September. Okay? And see if we make a higher close. When we've made higher highs, but it would be interesting to see if we take out a new closing high. And then overall tomorrow, if it takes off with a more dovish CPI print, we got about 58.45 to 58.56. And then 58.71, then 58.96. Those are the key. On any sell-off, remember the major areas about 57.40 to 57.25 is the major buying pressure zone. The minor area I'd be watching back at 57.77. The NASDAQ, now this is interesting because if this does rotate back up above 2358, it is in potential double top territory. So that's the one that could still be in potential double top territory. Doesn't mean it ever has to trigger. So guess what? I'm looking at 20,358, and then on a continued climb above, since we did close above the 62.5 yesterday, 20,358 and 20,448 are my targets higher. The support level I'm looking at is this 20,178, just below today's low. The Dow is just a mess. You still have the buying pressure. The only thing that takes me negative on the Dow in the short term is if we close below about 42,100, which would take us below the rotation zone and close to yesterday's low. But the Dow is still sideways correction on a rally. Very key resistance 42,641. The Russell, we have the key support 2196, key resistance 2220. On a break above 2220, we got 2238. Is that there? There we hold on. Just had to adjust stuff. All right. Yeah, if 5740 in the S&P starts breaking, watch out. Watch out below. If it starts breaking, especially with momentum. VIX still elevated going to the CPI, but has not been able to get any traction above this 23 level. DAX We still have the little mini potential double. So that's the only thing. That's the only bullish case. Other than that, we start breaking down. Pay attention to yesterday's low. Yesterday's low in the DAX is very important. Notes, pausing here, right around this key support area. Let's see if tomorrow, if CPI comes in a little later, if we get the bounce and then the next rollover play, because we are very oversold with daily cycles at the bottom. So yields also very overbought, daily cycles at the top. Can we get a little pullback into some key support tomorrow with the CPI print? Other than that, if we take out yesterday's high, it's a pretty quick potential trip to 41416 or 417 area, which is a prior breakdown zone, the 200 and the 50% harmonic. So if CPI comes in hotter, that would be a target area. If it comes in cooler, I'd be watching for the more of the pullback correction, get back to cycle bottoms, then watch for the next move up, especially going through and getting closer to the election time. 10-2s, trying to still hold back up here. Not much to talk about there. Dollar index, though, very interesting. We had the little channeling flag pattern. We're taking out Friday's highs at this point. I put on the harmonics from the low of the September 27th to the positive bar high of Friday, because the next two bars didn't touch it, which gives me an intermediate projected price on a continued up move of 102.67. And then look how the final price corresponds with the 50% harmonic. So that is my real magnet area, 103 on the dollar index. On any pullback, especially tomorrow, we have the major support zone coming in about 101.60 to 101.70. Crude, big outside key reversal day yesterday, coming back into support. We still have cycles going down, as I mentioned on Ninja Trader. As long as we really don't start closing below about 71, going to be watching for some consolidation out down here and then another potential move back up. We start breaking below 71, going to be watching for a pullback into this consolidation area. Gold, interesting yesterday, pulling back, dropping, closing right at the rotation zone. So I'm going to be watching today where we close in relation to yesterday's closing price. This could be setting up, though, if gold decides to rally tomorrow with the CPI number, we could pay attention to today's high unless a stronger bottoming pattern comes in. We have a very, and I changed this to the right-hand side, but for right now, using the left-hand side harmonics, we do have a little mini double. Even if this pulls back more, even if it takes out the earlier bars low from the European session on the 4-hour chart, it would still be a mini potential double. So pay attention to that for if you're trading gold. Now, if gold breaks down, because remember, weekly cycles are rolling over, we're coming out of overbought. Next key area I'm watching for the pullback. If we start breaking down and this double does not trigger, I'm watching for 2,600. The yenster continuing to weaken, but we do have a little mini potential double top here. So pay attention to Tuesday's lows. I close below that. Could get the pullback pattern, a short-term pullback pattern, within context of a sloppy inverse head and shoulders. That would not invalidate it. It would just be the pullback pattern before the next potential move higher. And remember, this may never trigger. So the still magnet price is 150 on that. The euro, little inverse of the dollar index with the little pause. We're still in the bigger triggered double pattern. We can also put on our harmonics so we can see that we got a lot of area in here. So if you wanted an earlier stop reduction for any short trades in here, about 109. 109 to 109.20 to 109 even would be the key area I'd be looking for a stop reduction. You also have at this point, it might go off the table really soon, but we do have a little mini potential double bottom. That would be the only thing for a short-term bullish bounce. Spiders, again, triple top now, no double, slightly favors a continuation pattern. Targets the upside. I'm still on a continued rally looking at about 574.40. Then a retest of the highs back from the 26th, and then I'm going to update these with a better pausing area now. We are going to update these and then also put on the reverse harmonics. So on a breakout, on a continued move higher, especially tomorrow, 575.90 would be stop reduction, and then 577.07 would be the next minor target. The next major target is this 579 area. The Qs are in potential double top territory. Where the futures aren't yet, the Qs are. Doesn't mean may never trigger. Just think you keep marching higher because the Q's closing above the 62.5. So the next magnet price is this 491.50 area. But we do have a potential double top. Then above there, again for the Qs, if you want to do the little reverse harmonics here, for minor levels, if we do break higher tomorrow, that would be the thing to do, which reinforces this other significant level area, about 496.60, 496.75, then 497.78, which ties into a very key open reversal bar back from July. Not much going on in the crypto world. NVIDIA, which we had the mini potential double that never triggered. Yes, yesterday invalidated it. So now we're back to that. We're going to take out that 87.5, but 134.43. We're going to gap above there. So that 87.5 rule finally completed. And then 136.33 would be my next minor target, right around this gap key reversal open bar. This bar back from the 11th of July. And then you have your cluster at all-time highs. Sterling, you mentioned BMY. Remember also, bank earnings kick off on Friday. Weekly. No, I wouldn't trade it as that. I just trade it if we start breaking above, especially if we close above about 54.50. That would be the high close in this whole session area back even from March. On a weekly basis, I'd then be targeting, my target area would be 60.40 to about 62.50. Okay, because you're breaking above very, very key resistance. This is just, with this move in there, I'd just be using the targets with the harmonics. I wouldn't get too cute because they actually line up really well with your prior price action. You see how this 50 harmonic lines up with this prior support becoming resistance, the 62.5 support becoming resistance. So that's how I'd look at that, Sterling, personally. What else do we have? In terms of earnings, today we had Delta and Domino's Pizza. And tomorrow, or sorry, that's tomorrow. What am I getting ahead of myself? Today in earnings, we had nothing. We have nothing. Tomorrow, we got Delta and Domino's Pizza. I don't think I covered that earlier. Then Friday, you got JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, BNY. So pay attention to Friday. So we're not out of the woods until in terms of volatility, even after CPI tomorrow. We might be going into a blow off top. Again, the trend is still up. The trend in the short term, medium term is still up. If you look at it, I mean, we've still been making higher highs and higher lows. So you got to put this into perspective. And there is, this technical weekly double is still barely in play here. But if we get a blow off top, it's out of play. Now we could be riding to a significant ending wave structure coming up here. Very significant ending wave structure potentially coming up here. So I will be paying attention to that. But are we there yet? And do we have a short-term sell signal yet? No. With the Google ruling with their App Store thing, what would I watch for? Again, they're trading against very key resistance. Now this is interesting though, because this, Sterling, if you're looking for something that's a little better formed inverse head and shoulders, you got one here. All right. It would be better on another pullback on a weekly if we got a little more pullback, and then it would take out this to form a better shoulder, because this is a weak weekly shoulder. But you can see it here somewhat on the daily. So, that would be a play to the upside. On the downside, and the stock, you had the reaction back on Monday to it, but it hasn't broken key support yet. I'd start watching if we start getting back below about 160 for continued pullback. But if this area does hold and then we rotate back up, it could have a short-term inverse head and shoulder play. Overall, I can't, still technically we do have, because that weekly close below the 62.5 on this area, we still have some downward price magnets. That would be off the table if this head and shoulders those triggers. Right now, I would be sitting on my hands and not doing much with Google. All right, let's peek back in at the open. So, still climbing. Your key support going to the open is 5,800. Looks like we're going to try to rally. Watch for about 5,806 for minor resistance, and if it gets through there, 5,806 to 5,807. There's a pretty strong resistance area up there into the open. If it gets through there, you don't have much until this 5,816. So if we start running today and just people front running a potentially inline print with or better print with the CPI for last month, then that's your key target area. With that, at least it's my key target area. With that, I shall talk to everyone after the CPI numbers tomorrow. Have a fantastic trading day. Remember, lots of Fed speak. I don't know what they can say. I would not ignore the minutes releases just because of the nature of the last meeting with the 50 bips cut, and to see who was more of a dissenter besides the official one dissent vote, but who fate had to be convinced of doing the 50 bips cut. So that could be very interesting this afternoon. You're welcome, Richard. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I shall talk to everyone later. Bye for now.